Welcome to AFEX Commodities Market Update, and we'll give you a review for the week ended December the 4th. We can tell you that in the last trading week, there were mixed performances across key indicators. Turnover, for instance, dropped by 1.31%, closing the week at $2.4 billion, and that's a drop from 3.15 billion naira, not dollars, I beg your pardon, FX trades in Nigeria. And volume of trades also witnessed a drop as well by 1.30%. Number of deals, on the other hand, was on the flip side, 1.52%, closing the week at 140 from 92 in the previous trading week. The AFEX Commodities Index went down by 1%, while the AFEX Export Index went up 1.85%. Let's look at the volume of true contracts now. There was an increase in volume across maize and soybeans for the contract for the period in consideration, that is ending December the 4th. Now let's see the price of commodities for that same period. See which of the commodities went up or went down. Starting right there with cashew nut, we can see that was unchanged at 632 naira 73 kobo for a kilogram. That's how it's traded for cashew nuts. Let's have the next commodity right there. We have cocoa. Cocoa was in the green for the period in consideration. It's gained more than 12% to close at 4,400 naira, and that's for a kilogram as of December the 4th. Ginger unchanged at 990 naira for a kilogram, remaining the same price it was in the previous week. All right, now let's go to the other segment. If you want more information on AFEX, you can always go to their website, their social media handles, to get more information. There you have it, africaexchange.com, the social media handles, AFEX Nigeria, and at COMEX by AFEX. While AFEX is doing its business of trading, being a trading platform for agricultural commodities, they're very well concerned about food security. And so they're talking about strengthening Africa's export market. And we know that the public sector, which is the government, they do have their roles, which is mostly to make the environment easy for the private sector, but the private sector should drive exports in whatever form, whether it's in agriculture or otherwise. We have joining us to discuss how AFEX is driving this PPP relationship, the role of the public-private partnership when it comes to exporting food, agricultural commodities. Joining us is Jane Ugoke. She is the National Sales Manager, Export Markets with AFEX. She joins us from here in Lagos. Hi, Jane. Good morning.
Hello, Ini. Thank you. And indeed, I am happy to be here.
Well, I can see it on your face. So what are some of the current challenges that faces Nigeria agriculture export? We just talked about exports in our previous conversation. I don't know if you watched, where agriculture is exporting just 2%. And that's kind of heartbreaking, even though in the short term, our guest then had said, let's stay with this, we'll stay with crude, but when we have so much potentials when it comes to agriculture, we have the land, we have the good weather, we have, even the seed, and they've been improved on, and yes, we see agriculture exporting just 2%. Kind of worrying. What are the challenges, that militates this growth?
To be honest, there are unlimited challenges that we face both in Nigeria and in the African market as a whole. But a few of these challenges we cannot overlook are the bureaucracy in exporting. That is one as well. The bureaucracy in the export process in general. Knowledge gap is also one of them. So we have a lot of people that want to export, but do they have the knowledge? Do they understand what should be done to successfully export? But more importantly, in the agricultural sector, we do have quality of produce, quality produce meeting the standard that is required globally. We have price, and interestingly, we do have climate change. In this season, we would expect the weather to be cold, right? We are in December, but a couple of days back, it just rained. And this rainfall has a significant impact in the yield and the produce of our agricultural products in the farms. And interestingly, with cocoa, which we are experiencing today, this rainfall has limited the high yield of cocoa that we would have in the season, which is between October and December, which is where we have our main crop. We can see that the yield and being able to meet the demand is extremely low, and this is because of the climate change that we are experiencing.
Then we have the AFCFTA, the Free Trade Area Agreement within African countries. How much of that can we infuse into this PPP agreement and arrangement to boost it and boost trade within the continent?
So it's interesting to also know that the whole of Africa is a work in progress, and we wouldn't get there overnight. And the impact that we get from this partnership, both public and private, is of relevance importance. At the IATF in Cairo a few weeks back, AFEX inclusive with 16 other exchanges signed an MOU to create an association of commodity exchange. We can also see the impact of AfriExim banks and their commitments to 2 billion and the agreements that they signed towards food security and agricultural exports. So we know that all of these partnerships that we are having currently across Africa is helping us tie back to the role or tie back to the goal of the AFCFTA. And since we are a work in progress, the best we can all do is to continuously engage in this partnership to take us to global competitiveness or Africans' global competitiveness in the market.
And then AFEX just released their crop production report. What is one of the high points of that report?
So we should expect, interestingly, I will go back to climate change. We should expect a high yield in specific export commodities like sesame, and also an increase in sales. and inversely, we should also expect a decline in cocoa production. We can all tell in today's market that the production of cocoa has declined currently, and this is still due to climate change. The cost, the cost of cocoa in the past used to be about $2,500 per metric ton, but today cocoa's price is $4,200 per metric ton, which is averagely 150 million naira per truckload, compared to 52 or 51 million naira in the previous season. So we should expect a decline in cocoa and inversely an increase in production of sesame.
Well, I guess that's why the world is very interested in COP28, what's going on there when you talk about climate change and all of that. But thank you so much, Jane, for your time this morning. National Sales Manager, Export Markets with AFEX.
And thank you for having me here.
Let's take a break. We'll be back with more from the markets.